What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV with your host, Dano here. And today we're going to be talking about why are we so hard on ourselves? And I picked this topic for a few reasons, but the number one being this has been like a recurring theme that's been going on for a lot of people that I've been talking to for this past week. And I know I'll tell you guys why I kind of fell into this mindset trap a little bit, but we broke out of it earlier. And I'll tell you why we came up with everything. But do what you got to do to like, share, do what you got to do to raise your vibrations because it's time for another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. I hope you guys are ready to get it because this episode is about to be fire. Don't go anywhere. Like, share, do whatever you got to do, and let's get it.
Basically, it's about keeping our families together.
God bless this organization.
Through the valley of the shadow of finale, I will never feel no fear. First the reaper gotta catch me. I don't care who got the next crown. I'm the true and living right now. Thought you lived to see my last breath? Go ahead and put your best down. Run with the wolves and we unify. Hungry enough to eat you alive. We never breaking formation. I live and die for this crew of mine. Been to the bottom, dehumanized. Found my divinity through the fire. Pushed through it all and I stood tall. That's cause a legend can never die.
Like I said, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. I'm so excited to be here with you guys week in, week out. You already know this time is very special to me, and I hope it's very special to you as well because my positivity posse, let me give you guys a shout out and your flowers before we even get started for today because you guys always crush it week in and week out. And you already know if you're watching right now live on the replay, wherever you're watching from too, please be sure to drop a hashtag Positivity Posse. So I know you guys are rocking with me and you're experiencing all of this great content. So amazing to see you guys. We got Dominique right here. Not really Dominique, Oracle. As you know her, she has Divine Encounters on E56. What's going on, Oracle? Sorry, I said Dominique. Hopefully you don't beat me up the next time you see me. But we'll deal with that when we get there, right? Dano, what's going on, Lou? Nice to see you. Nice to see you guys. Hashtag Positivity Posse. You already know. So amazing to be here with you guys again as well. As like I said, this is my favorite time of the week, and it's just so fun experiencing, life throughout the week and coming on here and sharing it with all of you is really a blast because I know the things that happen, during my life or during the week, whether it's a good thing, a positive thing, or a negative thing. I was like, man, I can't wait to tell my positivity posse about this. And then I love to hear your guys' stories too. You already know. And this is an interactive experience because if it wasn't for you guys, I would just be talking to a camera and in my room. And, that probably wouldn't be the best thing in the world. But, hey, at least I'll be, clearing some space and clear some energy, right? So here it is. You already know what we got to do before we get started for today. And like I said earlier, I picked this topic because I feel like a lot of people that I've run into or that I know and that I've talked to have all said the same thing. I don't know why it is that I'm so hard on myself. I'm really hard on myself, and we're going to be diving deep into why maybe we start to get a little bit harder on ourselves, and what my recommendations and what I can suggest for you guys so we can get over that and we can start to live a life of happiness and not be stuck in kind of in that cage of just, oh, well, I feel like I should be here, but I should be somewhere else other than where I am right now, because you got to give yourself some credit. Wherever you are, you've overcome a lot. So look at the path that it took for you to get to where you are today. Don't discredit that. And like I said, we're going to be talking about all that great stuff. But give yourself some credit in the meantime. And you already know, before we jump into the topic today, we got to do the affirmations for happiness. We're going to be, come on, you guys already know about this. And all right, I guess if it's your first time watching and you're just recently part of the Positivity Posse, number one, welcome. And number two, every time we open up the affirmation for the week, it always targets what we're going to be talking about. And I don't plan it. I just open up to a random page and it always lands to what we're going to be talking about for today. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I actually need a haircut. That's why I'm wearing this hat right now, just to cover the mess and the mop and the wolfing that's going on. So, but thank you. See, look at even something like that. You just said looking good, Dano, and I just gave you a whole reason why I'm wearing it. And you know what I mean? Like, just take the compliment and move forward. You know what I mean? Say thank you and go on. See, even though, like I said, I'm still victim of it. I think we all are. But now we're going to be talking about, ways to get beyond that. So the point is thank you. Thank you for the compliment. I really, really appreciate it. I love the positive affirmations. So do I. So without further ado, if you love them so much, let me stop making y'all wait. So here it is. Let's open up to this page right here. Let's see. All right. We're going to do this one. We're going to do this one for today. It says number 125, I follow the feeling of relief. Number 125 again, here it is. I follow the feeling of relief. My relief leads me to my greatest joy. Whenever I'm unsure of what to think or what to do, I simply do whatever brings me long-term relief. Following my relief feels good, and that's exactly what I'll do. Boom, there it is. Like I said, whenever I'm sure of what to think or what to do, I simply do whatever brings me long-term relief. And I really like that phrase a lot. Obviously it's right on point on why we're hard on ourselves, because when we don't focus on that long-term relief and we're just worried about, the next 5 steps or the next 2 steps, and not being in the moment, we can start to live like I said earlier, it's just imprisonment where you can only see what's in front of you, but you don't see the full path of what's really going on. If you're stuck in the smoke and mirrors, how do you expect to go through that maze? If it's not something that you're going to be able to do, or if you are going to do it, you're not going to have fun along in the journey and along the process. So you're going to be miserable throughout the whole thing. So when you do actually achieve whatever it is that you want, you might not be able to enjoy it fully because, we didn't practice how to appreciate the journey and how to appreciate the things that we have now. Because if we can't take care of our pennies, how are we supposed to take care of, the millions of dollars that we are supposed to get in our lives? And everybody is capable and everybody should be living an abundant life. Everybody is capable, but we have to figure out why or what we need to do in order to get to that point as well. And that's what I'm here to share with you guys. So like I said, I follow the feeling of relief, and relief can be so many different things and so many different aspects for you. I know for me right here, thank you for typing this. I appreciate it. Number 125, love it, long-term relief. One of the things that I've developed into my life, and you guys know because I literally probably talk about it every week, and I sound like a broken record, and you guys are probably tired of hearing it, but I'm going to beat it into your heads because hopefully that I'm sharing this with you guys, that you're actually, taking the advice and maybe trying it in your own, in your own life or whatever it is that you do. But for me, what I find long-term relief is meditation. I do it every single morning. And I know that since I'm taking that time to not have that resistance in my life, and if you guys don't know what resistance is, it's, just feeling like the negative feelings and things that are kind of distracting you from what you should be thinking or where you need to go. If the most common one I can use is money, right? Since I meditate, I'm giving myself that time of not being in the resistance mode to let the money flow flow to me and to, appear and manifest into my life. But if you're in that phrase or in that resistance mode to think, well, how am I going to pay the bills? Or I don't have enough money right now. Or you give yourself all these excuses and reasons on why you don't deserve the money. Like I didn't work hard enough. Or like I said, you can come up with so many different things. You're not giving yourself that sense of relief. And relief can really be anything. Like I said, for me, it'll be meditation. I know some people enjoy painting, right? Painting can be that form of release for you of if you had a bad experience during the week or you experienced things that you didn't want to experience. You got to find some kind of outlet or something that you need to do. It can be a hobby. It can be a practice. It can be watching Weekly Dose of Dano TV on Thursdays. I mean, whatever it is that you guys find doing. And, I say that half jokingly because I know for me, this is another form of release as well while learning the things that I want to hear about. And, maybe the guest is going through the same thing. So find that form of relief because if you're just constantly beating yourself up, with things that you're supposed to be doing, I got 5 million different projects that I need to complete, or I got to wash the dishes or the clothes or whatever it is. Make sure for all the time that you're spending to do the things that you need to do. And, for all that time worrying, you need to have an equal amount of time for that relief, as they say in the book, or just find the things that you love to do. And, don't be afraid to try new things because you never know what you're going to love. I know a lot of people find writing as another form of relief as well, which is, I've experienced it. I haven't stuck enough with it to, or consistently, because I have stuck with it, but just not consistently to really feel the effects of it. But it can be anything, it can be basketball. I know a lot of people like fishing. A lot of people like working on cars. Just find whatever it is that you got to do to find that relief. Because when you take that time to clear your mind, there's so many things that can come to you. It can be ideas, it can be hunches, inspirations, all of these things to lead you to whatever goal or whatever your desire is that you want for your life, right? And going to the gym is another great one. And I just love going to the gym. And like I said, if you haven't gone to the gym, please find, or even walking. That just came to me right now. I know Jeanette walks. I know Nancy walks, and that's when they find that the relief for the stress. So like I said, it could be anything. Just find it, whatever it is that you got to do. Here it is. Here's another one. Getting a body massage, 100%. Find it, experience it, feel the release of whatever it is that you got going on, and move forward. Because once you take those good vibrations and feel them, great things will start to happen in our life. And I know that might sound cliche, but just try it. If you don't believe me, if you're like, it's a bunch of foo, or he's just saying anything, he's talking noise right now, experience it for yourself and watch what happens. Because the effects and the great things that'll start to happen to you in your life will start to feel amazing. And then you'll know that I'm telling the truth right now. Just a quick thing for everybody that's watching on Apple TV or Amazon Fire or any, TV platform that's not your phone. Make sure you scan this here to follow me on social media because we have some things cooking up for you guys. I didn't forget about season 4. That's still coming out. The weather is starting to break, so the on the street segments will be coming back because I found the camera person. And I just got to go out there, record, and I just got to chop the video, make it look all nice. And that'll be coming back for you guys as well. And I'm super, super excited. So now we're going to be talking about, like I said before, why we might be hard on ourselves. But before we even get to that, there's one more question. Yes, it's a question that we need to be asking ourselves as we're going about through life. And this, I got this the other day when I was looking at, social media, and a lot of people in the comment section were just talking about how they just go through things and they don't think about what they're doing at the time. And they think that life just kind of happens and they have to experience it, but they don't have the control. And this question hit me while I was, when I was doing that for the social media and I was reading everything. So I read this question right here, important question. How is this benefiting me? And this is very important when we're going about our everyday, life. And I'll explain why after I take this sip of water. And here it is. So when I was doing an event for E56, the event was in it was in California. It was in where was it? Well, it was in California. Oh, it was LA. That's where it was. And I was having a conversation with, the president. His name's Aaron Hymas. And as we were talking inside the room, he goes, Dano, I want to talk to you about something that I really like about you. I said, all right, cool. Like, what is it? And he goes, a lot of people, when they experience their life, they really don't think about, what's going to happen as a result of their consequences or they don't think about, A, B, C, D, E. All they think is from A to B and B to C, and one step really ahead. And when I was thinking about this, I said, why is that really that a lot of people don't think, about the consequences for their actions? Or maybe when they're going through it, they don't see how it's going to play out in themselves, or how the series of events, if it's going to lead to positive or negative things, which you never really know. But, if you operate from a place of love and understanding and, peace, then everything that happens as a result of that has to mimic and be a reflection of that same vibration or feeling, whatever it is that you want to describe it as. So, like I said, how is this benefiting me? And this is a great question to ask ourselves as we're going about it through our day. So, it can be with things that you don't see how it's going to benefit you. The other day, somebody brought up, when I was going to do an interview, they brought up the example. They were like, "Oh, did you park in the street or did you park in the lot?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I didn't park in the lot because I didn't see that it was open, and I put some money in the meter. But if we go longer than that, it's going to be what it's going to be." And then the guy says, "Oh, well, I hope that you don't get a ticket." Number one, I was like, all right, I'm not going to claim that I'm going to get a ticket, because I don't want that to happen. So don't say it if you don't want it to happen. Speaking to the affirmative, And number two, I was thinking about it. I said, okay, even if I do get a ticket, which I didn't really entertain that thought much. But even if I do get a ticket, you're going to be helping out the city for whatever it is that people might need it for. And, everything always benefits you, but you have to figure out how is it benefiting you. And that's for things that you don't want to happen in your life. Let's say somebody's stepping to you in the street, right? And they're trying to fight because, they're drunk, or maybe they got the wrong impression of whatever it is that you're trying to do. You guys have to sit there and say, okay, I can engage with this guy or girl and I can fight them, but how is that going to benefit you? It's not at all. I mean, if somebody step into you and then they put their hands on you and it's a physical thing, then, that's a completely different story, because you got to do self-defense, of course. I'm not saying that. But, if you engage into that fight, if you engage into that argument, if you engage in eating things that you really don't want to be eating, if you're, following a diet, or there's a certain body style that you want, then you have to ask yourself, how is this benefiting me? And when you start to understand the significance and ask this question, and a lot of the things that you do, you will start to make, talking yourself out of the bad decision that you were going to do. And then you'll see yourself starting to make the change, to make the, decisions and the strategies in order to achieve anything it is that you want. And it's just by asking yourself that one simple question: how is this benefiting me? And in order to really make that stick into your mind, there's different ways that you can do it. Number one, just be conscious of all the decisions that you do make. Number two, you can put sticky notes. Just write that question, 5 sticky notes. How is this benefiting me? Number one, put it on the mirror in your bathroom. Number two, put it on the fridge. Put it on your refrigerator door. Number three, put it on your stove. Put it right above your ceiling. There's so many different ways to make sure that you're thinking about this consciously. And that's just, like I said, one example or one strategy that you can do to make sure that you're thinking about it. But once you think about this question, how is it benefiting me? You will start to notice that you're making the changes that you need to make, instead of just doing arbitrary things, instead of wasting money on things that you don't want to be doing, or, just spending mindlessly. Number two, it just goes for every single facet of your life. So make sure that you're asking yourself that while you're going through your life as well, because you'll start to see a huge change. And that will be my advice for you guys. Positivity Posse, thank you, Carmen, for dropping that for today. I really appreciate it. And it's so nice to see everybody here, and everybody's just throwing their positive energy into here. I can feel it. I resonate with it, and I thank you so much. And I'm sending it back to you guys as well, because we already know once we raise our vibrations, man, we are unstoppable, and great things will start to play out into our lives. And that's how we will see the different, experiences, opportunities, people, whatever it is, start to play out into our favor. So there it is. That's what it is for you guys. How is this benefiting me? Make sure you're always thinking about that as well. So we're going to be talking about what we came here to talk about today, which is, why are we so hard on ourselves? And I want you guys to drop it in the comments wherever you're watching from. Why do you think it is that we're so hard on ourselves? And I wrote down 4 different reasons why we may think that, or, what might trip us up into, tricking us into thinking that. But I'm here to tell you that when it comes to wanting the best for ourselves, there's nothing wrong with that at all. You always want the best for yourself, because imagine if you were just going through life not wanting the best for yourself. Think about how kind of sad that would be, and what you would feel during those things if you just completely have given up. You didn't care about anything. That wouldn't be a life, worth living, to be honest. And I'm not insinuating anything, but just try to find out whatever it is why we're so hard on ourselves. And I'll tell you why. The reason for me, like I said earlier, I wanted to do this one for today because I've experienced so many different people just this weekend alone, within the past 5 days, say the same thing. I'm so hard on myself. I'm so hard on myself. And it was about 5 different people that said this. So that's why I picked this topic for today. And like I said, so I'm going to follow this with a story, because it was actually at the same place that I went to go park that I started to, fall into the same trap for myself. So I'm gonna tell you guys. All right, so here's a big piece of news, and I guess I'll just let it go. That the cat's out of the bag, and here it is. The other day, I went to go for an interview because I'm going to be published in an article in a newspaper, and I'm going to be like the featured person. So there it is for you guys. There's the cat's out of the bag. But while I was going through the interview process, right? And the guy was asking me the questions. Okay, who is Dano? What is it that you do? Why are you trying to help the people? Whatever it is. I was going through the interview and I was like, all right, whatever. I was giving my answers and I felt good about the answers. But as I got home and I was leaving, I was like, I don't really think that I did that well during the interview or with my answers. And I didn't really think that, I did my best or whatever it was. And it was very interesting because in the middle, no, this was actually towards the end of the interview. We got done wrapping things up. And that's when I started to think about, Dan, did I really do my best? Or did I really give my great answers? This is what he says. And this is kind of what got me out of that mindset, because I was, paying attention to the signs. He goes, wow, Dano. He goes, all of the words that you spoke, you just seem to always have the perfect words at that right moment in time that people need to hear. And I was like, wow, well, I didn't even think about that by myself, but thank you so much for the compliment. I really appreciate it. And it's like, damn, well, this whole time I was sitting here going through this interview process, and I was like, I wasn't even sure about the answers that I gave. And here he is saying, wow, all your words were perfect and all your answers were perfect. So thank you for that. So it's just all about perspective. And that's one of the reasons, like I said, why I picked this topic for today. And it's because you're always going to want the best for yourself. So don't ever feel bad about wanting to live the most luxurious lifestyle. If you want to live a lifestyle where you want to help a lot of people and, you want to hold yourself to that higher standard, that's a good thing. But it can be a bad thing if you go about it the wrong way. And we're going to be talking about what the wrong way is. But I want to read these comments first before we get started. Dano, you're a man of the people. Thank you so much. That's what it's about. It's not about me. It's about we. And like I said, once we fix ourselves and raise our own vibrations, then it'll work for the collective as well. And I really like this because it wasn't always this way. Like before I found like this way of thinking or really studying personal development, I would always, kind of be like cynical or like, when it comes to rich people that you got to do bad things in order to get a lot of money, or, the world is everybody's out to get me and they're only there for my money, or whatever the case may be. I've experienced both sides of the same coin. So now, since I've gotten through it, and Lou, I know you've experienced this too, that shift in the mindset and how life is going beautiful for you right now. You experience it and then you want to share it with everybody. So it's not because, I want to say, hey, look at me, I'm on TV. I know it's because we have a purpose here. And I just feel like that's my purpose, is to spread, the positive energy and really a different way for people to think about whatever it is that they're going through their life. So, thank you for that. And I really do appreciate it. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Carmen. I appreciate it. And of God, a man of God, of course, there is a higher power. And if you call it whatever it is that you want, but you do have to have that dependency on that higher beings that they're going to take you to whatever it is that you want. And, it's not about religion, not at all, because we don't really talk about religion here on the show, but it's about having that, personal relationship with what is greater than us. And whatever you call that, if you want to call it Allah, if you want to call it God, whatever word you got for it, just follow that passion and be proud, and always just make sure you're keeping them close, because they can open doors and they have capabilities and powers that we really can't even understand. So yes, 100%. I love to do that as well. Aim for the sky. Let's go. Let's go is right. All right, so let's get started. Like I said, I mean, we have been getting started. We've been cooking up. Don't get it twisted. But now we're going to be talking about why we might be hard on ourselves. And here it is. We're going to be going through the banners. So number one, the reason that we might be hard on ourselves is because, like I said earlier, we want the best for ourselves. Understand that wherever it is that you are right now, you will get whatever it is that you desire, but you have to be patient. And when we want the best to ourselves, you can't just be thrown into whatever position that you want to be and expect to perform the best, right? So if you want to experience, I don't know, let's just say like being the best server at a restaurant, right? If you're holding yourself to that high degree and that high regard, you're not going to be the best on the first day of your starting, whatever it is that you want to start. And the best position that you want to be in is going to take some time, number one, for you to learn about whatever it is that you're going through, whatever profession that it is. And then number two, and it doesn't even have to be a profession. It could be a hobby. You're learning how to paint. It takes time to learn how to be the best. And the best example that I can give to you, as you guys probably already know, is Michael Jordan, right? He's the best basketball player of all time. But what's the most famous, what everybody knows the story. He got cut from his high school team because he needed to learn how to be the best. And, some people think that it's a natural gift, but it's not really a natural gift, because if that was the case, I think that, the tallest person in the world or the strongest person in the world would be the best basketball player in the world. Like, there's so many people that were taller than Michael Jordan. There's, Boban, or there's, Paul George, or all these other people that there's something there about learning that you need to be patient with yourself, because you will get, if you want to experience the best things in life, you will receive those things, but you got to be patient and enjoy the journey along the way. Number two, why we want the best for ourselves. You experience what you don't want, right? Let's take the Michael Jordan situation. When he experienced getting cut from his high school basketball team, he felt what it's like to not, be successful, or what it felt like to maybe be ridiculed, or maybe what it felt like to not have success. So when he does experience that success, which he has, it just feels that much sweeter. And that's why you want the best for ourselves. And I know that's why I want the best for myself. I know I'm not the richest person in the world yet, spiritually and vibrationally, yes. We're just waiting for it to, or we're just eagerly experiencing, life right now until that does happen. But since we experience what it is that we don't want, that's why we want the best for ourselves. So if you experience the low point, that's why you want to experience the high point, because there's the freedom that's associated with the good feelings of, self-success, the self-confidence that goes through the roof. There's so many things that we need to experience at first in order to really see why we want the best for ourselves. And finally, why we might be hard on ourselves in relation to why we want the best for ourselves is we hold ourselves to a higher standard because we want the best for ourselves. Nobody goes through life, and I hope nobody thinks this way, but nobody goes through life thinking, well, I kind of want a mediocre car. I want a mediocre house. I want a mediocre significant other. I want a mediocre job. I want a mediocre physique. Nobody ever thinks like that, right? So when you're thinking, hey, I want the best things possible, I think there's also a challenge that's involved with that, to say, okay, can I really reach this, level of status that I want to experience? And the answer is yes. If that's the first step. You got to believe that you can achieve anything it is that you want, no matter how much money, time, effort, energy that it's going to take to get there. You will get there. But like I said, just be patient when you're going along with it. And I think that's some of the reasons why we want the best for ourselves. And it's really important to always want the best for ourselves, because I can't imagine anything else. Like, why would you just go through life and say, I want the lowest of everything? That's not going to get you anywhere, and you're not going to live a life of fulfillment, and you're not going to challenge yourself. Because if it's like saying, okay, well, for a test grade, if you know that you can get a 70% on everything, you're not really unlocking your full potential, and you're not going to see what you're really capable of. Because when you find those failures, you really start to see what you can handle, what you can't handle, what you need to, what your strengths are, and what your weaknesses are. So, like I said, it's very important to always want the best for ourselves, and that's not a bad thing. But when you want the best for ourselves right then and there, and you're rushing the process, that's not the healthiest way to always hold ourselves to that highest degree. And, that would be a negative reason on why we're hard on ourselves. So we're going to be talking about the next point, which is number 2, comparison to others. The only person that you should be, all right, so let me take it one step back and say the reason that we are hard on ourselves is because we compare ourselves to other people. And obviously, the only person that you should be comparing yourself to is the person that you were yesterday, right? And I know that sounds cliche, and I know it sounds good to say, but it's the truth. When I stopped going to the gym it was like 3 weeks that I stopped, and I really just felt bad. And I didn't know how I was going to get back to it to find that, inspiration to go back. I went on that first day. I just threw all of my excuses out of the window, and I just said, all right, F it. Like, I'm going to go. I'm not going to worry about anybody else. I'm not going to compare myself to the guy that's on steroids lifting 8,000 pounds. I'm being, I'm being extra and I'm exaggerating, but it's stop comparing yourself to other people, because that's only going to be a bad way as to why we want the best of ourselves. And, really only compare yourself. And it was actually, I went on a Monday, and then the next day I was like, on the Tuesday, I was like, wow, I don't know how I'm going to get back to it. But I was going through the exercises, and, it's kind of like starting off fresh. Well, not really starting off fresh, but not starting out at the place where I wanted to be or where I once was. I just gave myself the credit to say, okay, you went today. You did better than what you did yesterday because you actually didn't go at all. And now that you're building, those muscles, you start to feel great about yourself. And it could be with anything too. Just give yourself the credit that you actually are taking the steps to get wherever it is that you're going to get. And like I said, you may not be at that exact spot where you want to be, but you're on the right trajectory because you need to learn those things along the journey to get to where you want to be. Let me just look at these comments real quick. I see 2 comments. What's going on, Christopher? Christopher, my guy, it's nice to see you as well. Like I said, if you guys don't know about Christopher, make sure you click his Facebook profile because he's always dropping golden nuggets too, and I love the way that he thinks as well. Here it is. That's very true. You shouldn't compare yourself with other people because you are unique and you're different from other people. Exactly. And this is a great segue into the picture that I want to share with you guys. Thank you so much, Nancy, for dropping that because I want to share this with you guys. And this is what happens when you compare yourself to other people. And here is this graphic for you guys. So let me go back to the comments to take this off. So let's say this is you right here, right? Right here. Let's say this is you right here. Look at all right, well, I got to take off the banner too now, but here it is. Look at this rabbit right here, right? He's so concerned about what the other rabbit has, just because, things may be looking good on the surface and his leaves are a little bit bigger. And he's so worried about what somebody else has that look at what his carrot looks like. It's way bigger. His gifts are way more. It's way more abundant. There's so many great things that you have in store for you, but you got to stop comparing yourself to other people and their progress as well. And I know with social media, this is kind of how people think nowadays. It's like, oh, well, if you take 2 people, right, that are 32 years old, I'm going to put the picture back up, but if you take, let's say you're 32 years old and you're comparing yourself with other 32-year-olds in the world that are on social media and are flexing a nice car and a lot of money and, the hottest, significant others, whatever, that's not a great way to think about it. And who's to say that's exactly what this picture is saying? Just because it looks good on the surface doesn't mean that's what's really going on in these people's lives. So always really focus on what you got and stop looking at the other way. Just put the blinders on because your blessings, number one, I'll tell you this, guys. Number one, your blessings are meant for you, and there's nobody else that can take that away in this world. Even if people try to copy you if you have a great business idea and you have other people that are trying to take that business idea, if it's for you, it's going to find its way to you and it's going to be meant for you. So don't worry about other people as well in that regard, trying to take things away from you. But number 2, just stop worrying about what other people have and focus on your own things. And it can be a million times better what that person has. And it's not to be in a place of comparison, because even what I just said right there could be a trap. Because listen to what I just said. You're comparing yourself to what the other person has. And if you think that your stuff is better than what somebody else has, then you'll get an inflated head, and that won't lead you down a good path as well. So like I said, just focus on yourself, focus on your inner work, and focus what you need to do on the inside, because that is where the secret lies. And I'll tell you guys one thing before I bring up that picture again. I was on social media and I was looking at the comments I don't remember what the post was about, But the comment really stood out, and it said, wow, this is such a sad world that we're living in. And I saw that. I said, no, it's not. This world is great, but he's looking at everything on the outside. And that's why he thinks that the world is a sad place, because you're looking at the negative media, that said, oh, this person got robbed, shot, or killed or whatever, instead of focusing on what's going on inside of yourself. When you're saying, okay, well, I'm doing this right. I'm doing this right. I have a roof over my head. I woke up today. There's so many things to be grateful about. But once you feel those feelings of gratitude, then you'll say the exact opposite. Wow, this world is a great place to live in. I'm doing so well. I'm proud of myself. I'm just experiencing all the great things that life has to experience. And there's one more thing that I don't know if you guys saw in the picture, but I want to bring it up again. And here it is. Look at this guy, right? Let's say this is you, and this guy is focused on so much on what the other rabbit has, but look at in between the two carrots down here, which, is in between theirs. It's the worm. The worm is so focused on what you have, and you're focused on what somebody else has, right? So it's like there's a lot of things there's a lot of reasons that a lot of people will be grateful to be in the position that you are in, whatever it is. And you may not see that right now, but always just be really appreciative of everything that you have, because as we all know, it could all be taken away in an instant, whether that's possessions, it can be other people that are in your life, and the ultimate thing that we don't want to happen will be, your own life as well. But like I said, it's very important to live every day with a sense of gratitude, because once you see those interchanges and once you feel those great feelings, it will transpire into opportunities, and it could be new friendships that can evolve for you. It can be a new position at your job. You can have, you can win the lottery. I mean, it could be anything. I can just sit here and talk about a million different ways on how it will, benefit you in the everyday 3D world. But just focus on ourselves, man. Like, stop comparing yourself to other people because you want the best for yourself. That really doesn't make sense at all. And I think that's why we are hard on ourselves, is because we compare ourselves to other people. So let's read some of the comments that you guys are dropping in here. Change is constant, and the opportunities are equally constant if mindful. I love that. You got to be mindful of it. Usually in ways that you aren't expecting, because this universe has a sense of humor. One of the things I want to add to this, I told you guys, you got to check out Christopher, because his mind is absolutely amazing. But I love this because if you're expecting a blessing, right? Let's say if you're constantly, giving back to other people, and you're doing community service, and you're doing whatever it is that you got to do, but you want a specific amount of money, right? And you want that specific amount to be $100,000. If you're so focused on that big stack of money that you've been asking for, you will miss the different avenues and the different ways that you can get there. But you got to be really cognizant of what's going on, because there can be, a person that comes into your life that says, hey, listen, I got a job for you. Come do this for me, XYZ. And you can just say, no, well, I'm not really looking at that, because I know I got a great amount of money that's coming to me. And that could have been your route in order to receive that money. So you got to be really open-minded, because if you're focused on one, so here's the point of me saying this. If you're so focused on one thing, you're going to forget, or you might block out the thing or the routes that you need to take in order to get you to that point as well. So I really love that too. You got to be mindful in ways, because you won't be expecting the way that it will come to you. Yes, focus on yourself. Yes, winning the lottery. I know you clean that energy right there. Speak positive affirmations to yourself and believe them about yourself. And that right here is, I think, the hardest part of that whole phrase, or these two words, is believing them. Just because you say it, and we've been living on this earth so many years that we've been conditioned to think a certain way. So if you've grown up in an environment where, positivity or maybe self-confidence wasn't really instilled in you, then you're not going to really feel that way. And believing it is going to be the hardest part of it, because you didn't really grow up to think that way. And that's not how you were conditioned to think. But I agree with you 100%. You got to believe. That's the first step. You got to believe in whatever it is that you want to experience in this world. You can, and you do have the ability to. You just got to learn how to get there. And the learning, it can take 3 days. It can take a month. It can take a year. You don't really know. But as long as you're enjoying the journey, as long as you're taking the steps to experience those great things, that's what it's really all about as well. Focus on the good. All else will follow. Don't focus on the materialistic things. Feel the feelings of things, but be happy in the meantime in the journey. And another way that I'm gonna, flip this to make it sound better, it's the feeling of the wish fulfilled, right? If you want a Lamborghini and you want it, that there's nothing wrong with wanting that and having that, but you have to feel what it's like to experience sitting in that car. Number one, you're probably going to have the self-confidence through the roof, right? Even though it's just a car, but that's just what you're going to experience when you're sitting in there. If you want a lot of money, the reason you don't really want money, whatever it is that you want, because what? Money's paper, right? I can give you this piece of paper. It happens to be my card on here, but I could give you this piece of paper and you can say, okay, well, look, I gave you the paper that you wanted. It's the feelings that are associated with that money that you're going to get. You're going to get the financial freedom. You're going to get just regular freedom to have the schedule clear and do whatever it is that you want for the day. You're going to have that security to say, okay, well, whatever it is that I know that I'm going to experience, I know I'm going to be all right because my bills are going to be paid. My house is going to be paid. I'm always going to have a roof over my head. It's that security piece as well. And then just, there's so many great things that come along with that, but experiencing those feelings right now is what's going to get you to that place that you want to be. 1,000%. Realize that eggs will inevitably crack in order to present opportunity. For example, I'm cracking the eggs to make that omelet I want. What I tell you guys, man? What did I tell you? I love it. I don't even have anything to say, to say to that besides understand that whatever it is that you're going through positive or negative experiences, and I'm going to put quotes around that, air quotes around positive and negative experiences, because if you understand that everything that does happen to you is working out for your favor to take you to that place where you want to be, and you just know that it's all working out for you, there's no such thing as a negative experience, right? Right. I know you guys are feeling what I'm throwing down. So here it is. We're going to be going on to the next one right here. Why is it that we're so hard on ourselves? And if you guys, like I said, tell me some of the things that you guys think about why you're so hard on yourselves and what you do to combat being hard on yourselves. Because, I can only give you guys so many different things, and everybody has a different way to think about the world. So I really want to hear what it is that you guys are thinking and what it is that you're experiencing as well, because I just want to hear about it. And it'll give you another way to release too, to let go of that. And maybe I can help you out, or maybe you can help me out with thinking about some of the ways and giving me ideas as well. So the reason that we might be so hard on ourselves for number 3, the reason that we're so hard on ourselves is because we're not living in the moment, right? And what comes with this is there's a quote by Lao Tzu, right? And it goes, if you're living in the past, that means you're depressed. If you're living in the future, that means that you're anxious. And if you're living in the now, that means you're at peace. So we are hard on ourselves because we are not living in the moment. Right now, me, you, right here, what is there to worry about? There's nothing that you need to worry about, because right now, you don't have any bills that need to be due at this very exact moment. Number 2, we're sharing this moment together to have that peace, and you're elevating your vibrations and you're helping me elevate mine. And we just know that there's nothing to worry about because this is all for good fun, entertaining, hopefully for you guys. But at this very moment in time, there's nothing for you to need to worry about. So that's why when we are hard on ourselves, it's because we're not living in the now. And there's a great book called The Power of the Now by Eckhart Tolle. So if you guys wanted to learn more about that, go check that book out. And I want to tell you this too. The reason that we're hard on ourselves is because we're not living in the moment. But understand that time is a made-up thing. Humans made up time in order, to chronologically keep track of things. There's so many reasons why time is beneficial, but understand that it's made up. So the amount of years that you've been living on this earth is also a made up thing. It's been 34 years, and that's a reflection of time. But when we understand that time is made up, you'll understand that you won't have to worry about, oh, well, I've been on this earth 32 years. I'm not really 32, but I'm just making it up as I go. Well, I just use that as an example, not making it up. But you won't feel compelled to really take action just because of whatever time is going on. Just because a week has gone by and you haven't done whatever it is that you said you were going to do. So what? It's only been a week, but what's really a week? A week is a way of keeping track of time. And just know that if you say that you're going to do something, then actually do it. But just because it took a week or a month or a year for you to develop or actually take that action on there, it really doesn't matter, because you actually did take that action. And that's what's really important, that you actually did whatever it said, that you actually did what you said you were going to do in order to complete whatever it is that you want to experience in your life. So understand that there's no timetable on anything. Just take the steps, and as it unfolds, it will unfold. And if you enjoy the journey and you're raising vibrations, it will happen faster. But don't put a timetable on things. Don't say, oh, well, in 6 months from now, I want to have, this amount of money. It could be ridiculous. I mean, it can happen. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here to say that it's not going to happen, because anything is possible. But if you put yourself with unrealistic standards in regards to time, it'll just put that much pressure on you, and it won't be from a place of ease and flow and happiness. It'll be a place of force and being on the grind. And a lot of people say that, oh, I'm grinding right now. But think about that term by itself, grinding. When two things are grinding together, like gears, or like the plates on the earth, that's when you have earthquakes and negative experiences. So, like I said, as long as you're being mindful that there's no timetable on anything, yes, you would like to have it the sooner the better. I get that 100%. But stop putting time on everything, because that's just going to add added pressure for you. And results to the added pressure of not knowing how it is that you're going to get to there, which you really shouldn't be concerned about with anyway. But that's the added pressure of not knowing the strategies to get there, not knowing, the added pressure of family into your life. There's so many different pressures. So stop adding time into the equation as well for that pressure, because it's not great. So it is, we keep expecting things to be in a certain way instead of seeing things of how they are, hence the suffering in your mind. 1000%. And as if you see the things of how they are, then you'll see the blessing that is happening into your life, or the lesson that's happening into your life as well. And you'll see why it is that you have experienced that exact situation. And you may not know in that moment in time why the things are happening to you. I'll share with you guys right now. I was having a conversation earlier, and some interesting things have been happening to me. I know I went inside my car, right? And the rear view mirror was a little bit messed up. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I fix it. I go to my destination. And when I go back into the car, the rear view mirror freaking was back to the original way that it was. And I was like, there's no way that like this could happen. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to think about it. It just happened. I'm mindful of it, but I'm not going to read too much into it. And literally today, when I got home from whatever it is that I was doing, I got home and I had like a manual, like alarm clock, like the old school style ones. And when I came home, it was flipped upside down. And I was like, what the freak? Like it's just so interesting how things are happening. And it's like what Christopher's saying. You have to see things as they are. They might be signs from a higher being. It just might mean that I need to be more cognizant of where I leave my alarm clock. It could be anything, but just be in the power now right here. Name of the book, Power of the Now by Eckhart Tolle. Great. When grinding, are they doing it with direction and specific and clear outcome in mind, or being busy for the sake of being busy by the dopamine hit? And I love thank you for bringing that up, because a lot of people say, whether it's come to hanging out with friends or whatever it is, they say, oh, I'm busy. And a lot of the things that I think, well, I'm going to give you my spin on it. When somebody says that they're busy, I think they're too busy thinking and they're not busy doing. Because I know I used to think that way a lot. I used to have friends that say, oh, you're trying to hang out this weekend, you're trying to go drink, go to the club, whatever it is. And I'll be like, nah, I'm busy. But when I would say I'm busy, I would be busy thinking and not busy doing, because it would just be like kind of an excuse to just, I don't know, it would just be an excuse not to hang out with them. But it would also be the truth, because I would need to take the action, and I would just be my way of not doing it. So this has been this is wrong. I'm sorry. I know Positivity Posse, I wish you guys can dislike this comment, because Rainbow Six is such a bad game. I don't really like that game at all. But hey, different strokes for different folks, right? So here it is. Now we're going to be talking about what we can do to fix it and to want the best for ourselves, and why we're hard on ourselves, but in the positive way or in a healthy way. So here it is. Let's make wanting the best for ourselves a positive experience. Number one, you got to celebrate all the wins. And a win that we can celebrate every day is waking up today. That should be the first thing that you should celebrate. you have another opportunity to achieve the dream, that whatever it is that you want for yourself, you have the opportunity to do it because you have that time in the day, you have the energy, and you woke up. So that's the number one, celebrate that. And even if you pick up $1 on the ground, if you pick up 25 cents, hey, be grateful and be appreciative of that. If you have a car that runs, or you're able to buy an Uber, or you're able to just because you got a bill, you should be thankful that you have the money to pay for that bill, So celebrate all the wins to make wanting the best for yourself a positive experience, so that when you do experience that best thing that you've been asking for, that you've been searching for, you'll know how to celebrate and really relish in that great moment as well. Number two, wanting the best for yourself in a positive way, it shows that you care about yourself, right? So, like I said, it shows that you care about your future, and it shows that you care for yourself. Because, like I said earlier, and I said it earlier in the episode, but I'm going to reiterate it. If you're experiencing things that you don't want to experience, and you are just going through life living with the mediocre mindset, that's not you really wanting the best for yourself and challenging for yourself, because it's just not a good way to think about it. So it just shows that you care for yourself, and you're taking care of your body, you're taking care of your mind, you're taking care of your heart, taking care of your spirit, all that great stuff as well. In order to want the best for ourselves and the positive experience, you got to think about how good it's going to feel when you get it. And like I said, that's the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Look at that, right? Fulfilled instead of fulfilled. Get it? See what I did there? I didn't even know that I did that. It wasn't planned. It just came out that way. So there it is. Think about how great everything is going to feel when you do start to get it, and when you do start to achieve it. And that's what is going to be great things. BioShock, I've heard great things about BioShock. I don't know if it's multiplayer though. Yeah, I got to do my research into that. And if you have any suggestions on what a good game is, besides Rainbow Six, because Rainbow Six is Siege is garbage. I think it's garbage. But if you got any recommendations on any good multiplayer games, just let me know. So here it is. The smallest things are wins 100%. Just the fact that me and you are sharing this moment right now, and all the time that has ever passed in this world, and all the places that you could be right now, right here is where we're sharing this great moment. And like I said, this is a win, and you can consider this to be a big win or a small win, but at the end of the day, it's a win. So really feel what it's like to win in whatever big sense or small sense that you have to think about it. Every day is a blessing 1000%. And even the things that, you may not think that might be a blessing, that's still working out in your favor, and it will help you out. Great nuggets. Thank you. I really appreciate it. The gears are grinding. My gears are grinding when I play Siege. So yeah, I'm not playing that anymore. Yeah, it's not my kind of game. So care for yourself by doing something good for yourself. Something simple as getting a cut, a shave, walking a nap, or eating a good meal. What are you trying to say? You're trying to insinuate that I need to shave? Yeah, I know that. No, I'm just kidding. I do have an appointment coming up soon to get my hair cut. But it's like you said, find something that feels good for yourself. Do it, whether it's writing, I know Christopher actually paints. So if you have any questions on that, I'm pretty sure he can help you out with that. But, find that feeling of relief and stop being so hard on yourself. Stop it. And that's what the whole point of this is about. Stop being so hard on yourself. It's all going to work out for you. You're doing the best that you can. And even if you're not, you have the ability right now to make that conscious change to say, okay, well, I know I haven't been doing my best in whatever area it is that you want to insert here. But you just know that you can make that change. Literally, it can be right now. It can be 5 minutes from now. It can be tomorrow, or even a week from now, if that's the amount of time that you need. But you have the power to change whatever it is that you want to experience in your life. And that is the ultimate golden nugget that I want to give to you guys, is that you have the ability to change it right here. BioShock, you're missing out. It's a single player, but it's worth it. I mean, I do sometimes I need some distractions, because it can't all be work, right? We got to have fun too, and whatever it is that we're doing, because if you're just constantly working, then you're not going to really enjoy the benefits of working that much. But like I said, I'll download it tonight and I'll see how it is. I'm really excited to try it. Here it is. There is always time. Here it is. Hey, here's the positive way that you're thinking about it. There's always time to design the barn and secure the area 100%. What's going on, Manutes? Nice to see you here. Thank you for being here with us here on the Weekly Dose of Dano platform. I really appreciate the comment. I hope everything is going well with you. Have fun in all that you guys are doing. You guys are absolutely lighting me up in the comments for tonight. But whew, that was an hour straight. I didn't even play any word from our sponsors for today. Sorry to the sponsors, but I just felt like I just had to keep going because it was flowing for today. You guys were blowing it up in here and making it feel great. And I hope you guys had a lot of fun for today. Next week, we have, I believe his name is Osiris, coming on for the show, just to give you guys a little heads up on what's going to be going on for next week. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. Always, I'm going to be working on it, is the On the Street segments will be coming back since the weather is starting to break. I'm really excited about that. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Like I said, stop being so hard on yourself. It'll all work out for you. And it's a good thing that you are hard on yourself because you want to experience that high level of whatever it is that you're aiming for, that you're dreaming for. But like I said, make sure you're doing it in a healthy way. If you have any questions on anything, always reach out to me. Like I said, right here, you can scan this. It'll give you all the social media information. I think my number and my email is on there as well. So you can just reach out, send a text, do whatever you got to do, and I'll do my best to help you out. Or if you see somebody in the Positivity Posse that is, commenting, reach out to them too as well, because I'm pretty sure they'll be more than happy to help. And that's why we've developed this. And that's why we have this platform here on Weekly Dose of Dano for everybody to come together, be in a safe space, and experience all the great things life has to offer for us. And I'm really excited. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. Come back next week for another episode. We're going to be having, I think it's Osiris or if it's Mark. It's one of those two. We have a guest for next week. But we're going to be talking about their stories, about their journeys. I hope you guys have a great, here it is. Let me answer this question. When is season 4? We're still working on it. There's some new segments that we're putting together, and I've been doing a little trial for everything just to see what works and what doesn't work. But, the only way it's going to fit that we're going to find that out is if we actually do it for the show, right? That's what makes the most amount of sense. So it's coming out. We've been going through a lot, but it will be coming out soon. So be excited for that. I'm really excited. Happy Easter, everybody. I didn't even know Easter was coming out, or Easter was this weekend, but I hope you guys get all the dessert, the treat baskets. I hope you guys find all the Easter eggs with the money in it, whatever it is that you got to do to, celebrate a happy Easter. I hope you guys take the time to do that as well. Happy Easter. This was a great show. Thank you guys so much for being here. And if you'd like this, like, share, do whatever you got to do to help spread the word about the Positivity Posse and help other people to join it. And like I said, hope you guys have a great weekend. This was absolutely amazing. Thank you guys for my Positivity Posse for being here today on Thursday, Weekly Dose of Dano TV. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Be safe, and I'll see you next week for another episode. Peace.